I had a real interest in physics in school, studied physics in uni as well, and did a PhD in atomic physics, looking at cold gases and that sort of stuff. And that was my first real insight into electronics, working with LabVIEW and National Instruments equipment, controlling hardware and software to control a whole experiment with many different devices down to a sort of microsecond precision. And that whetted my appetite, but I decided to move in a direction more into bespoke software development for about 2.5 years after that, with a great company called Waterstones. But just decided I really missed the maths, missed the in-depth getting down to the nitty-gritty of the science of things. And that attracted me then back into the tech industry with Peratech. And I think for me, what really attracted me to electronics and engineering was the fact of being able to see the results, a product coming out on the kind of years time scale, rather than with research where the product was knowledge, which might filter down on the decade sort of time scale. I'm quite an impatient person, and because of that, I think that fulfills my slight impatience there, and being able to see those outcomes on a shorter time scale. There's an initial slight, when the prospect of change comes along, but actually I get quite a kick out of variety once I can get over that initial hurdle. And it keeps things interesting, it's never boring, it means that you can be constantly surprised at new and efficient ways in which you can solve a problem. And it's at the heart of it for me, it's the solving problems that I really enjoy. I was able to bring in the previous experience that I'd had with National Instruments equipment myself and control systems, and be able to apply a particular solution there where we could bring in hardware that was already designed to a very, very high quality, that we could rely on, I knew would work out of the box, and focus on the coding and control of this test equipment. So we had our mechanical engineer and other electronics engineer as well working. I was on the control system side of things, and the solution was creating a fully integrated system where we had a cloud-based storage system. We'd have the test using the National Instruments equipment and bespoke hardware that we built ourselves. And we'd have this detailed data coming out of the test of the sensors, taken in 5 seconds. We'd get thousands of data points from that, and it would be uploaded to the cloud. And I could use my previous experience with C# and the Microsoft stack to be able to integrate that to a central store that anyone in the world then who works for Peratech could have access to that data within 5 minutes off the production line. And what's great about that is that it means that if there are any problems, which we hope there aren't too many, it's quick to solve. We're based in North Yorkshire, we've got production in China and Korea. So from that perspective, I think thinking of ourselves in a global context, and not feeling that we're too small actually, that we can use technology like this to our advantage is great. And I think in the context of the UK, yes, the more that we can have big business outside of just one main location or a couple of main locations, and use automation and use centralized data stores, use the cloud to be able to access that data and keep track of problems and solve them, that's got to be a good thing. That's got to help with the economy and so on. I think there are lots of different areas of electronics that I find very exciting. Of course, VR I think is amazing, and the concept, I would love to be able to actually put on, the likes of the Oculus Rift or whatever. I haven't had that experience yet, but I think the concept of what can be achieved in terms of designing buildings, about experiencing things that in no other context that you can, that's a great thing. For me, I have a real passion about what I actually work with at the moment, and that's introducing touch as a new sense, I guess, in the electronics environment, because we've got capacitive touch, yes, but that's more of the on and off. And with Apple having the 3D touch technology as well, we're kind of looking at that sort of marketplace. And I really enjoy this concept of having the analog feel, a more intuitive feel to the devices that we use. we humans are very intuitive about the way we function, and we can feel very, very light touch to very heavy touch. And I think if we can introduce that sort of analog, almost logarithmic response and sensing, that's going to allow us to interact with devices, combine it with VR technology, and it's going to definitely be something that's very exciting and immersive as an experience. I'm quite open-minded actually in terms of where I might go next. A lot of the steps I've taken in life have been a surprise. But there are, I think, 3 or 4 things that I very much enjoy in the roles that I work in. One is communication. I really enjoy teaching and helping people to enjoy the things that I love, particularly if they have felt that they're not capable of doing it or understanding it. I also really enjoy public speaking, so any opportunities of communication on a slightly larger scale as well as good. I love problem solving, other people's problems quite often. I like it when people can come to me, whatever they may be in the context of electronics or other areas of the business. Being able to get down with them and say, right, you've got this problem, how can we get to a solution that will work for you? And then the final thing is the real nitty-gritty, and that's where the kind of electronics and control systems and automation aspects come into play. Because I think the PhD whetted my appetite in terms of really understanding the fundamentals in terms of R&D work and how, like, for example, our sensors work or whatever technology I'm working with, how that works. So if all those 4 things can be married together, then I'm going to be happy whatever role I'm in. Yeah, I think it's really exciting actually being surrounded by so many other talented people who, being of the slightly older aspect of our generation, seeing them coming through, achieving some quite impressive things. I was just speaking to a chap earlier on who's developed this fantastic system with regards to filtration, reusing an existing system that was a cheaper solution with an Arduino. And it was just great to hear what he was able to do in transforming his business. So I think in terms of electronics engineering, the future is bright, as long as we keep investing and as long as we keep encouraging, and that people like me have the responsibility to be involved with that encouragement. I think we're going to be going in the right direction.